Madridistas, this is Christian Paredes, founding member of Peña Madridista Sur de California, joined once again by Daniel Polanco, captain of Peña Madridista Boston, and Cesar Orozco, vice chairman of Peña Madridista San Francisco Bay Area. Let me start over in the East Coast. Danny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm well, Chris. Cesar, I'm glad to be back in the show, ready to get started. I'm glad my brothers are doing well, and we're doing good up here in Boston.
Yeah, you're surviving that snow, the nor'easters, right?
Yeah, little by little, we're used to it. So, yeah, doing good.
I don't know what that is out here in LA. It's. I mean,
we gotta be used to it.
That white powder stuff I see on Christmas movies is pretty much as close as I'm gonna get to.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That. Hey, anyway, let's go over to the Bay Area. Cesar, how you doing over there?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Danny. Pleasure being here with you guys again. It's an honor being a part of this forum once again and just being able to participate. It's good to see everybody's doing well. And a team starting to pick up again some more, doing a lot better. So hey, it's a good start to a Valentine Sunday.
Hey, that like you just said, I was about to say it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone watching, to you guys. I mean, also AKA Singles Awareness Day for those of us that don't have significant others. Right?
I don't know, Danny looks ready.
Yeah, you know what? We have to celebrate the love of Real Madrid. How about that? Let's go the common denominator, right?
Yes, bring it on. I think couldn't have picked a better denominator. Exactly.
All right, so here we go. Real Madrid hosting Valencia at home and winning 2-0. Beautiful goals by Karim Benzema, Toni Kroos. There was a goal scored by Mendy, but it got pulled back. So, Daniel, let me start with you. This game, looking at the starting lineup, looking at how the team did, what'd you think from this game?
They were ready for this game. They looked prepared. I mean, I was surprised about sort of how the ball was moving really quickly, really well. I mean, again, I think having Zidane back, obviously has made a little bit of a change. We're always very prepared to face Valencia, and it's a tough team, So I think they did very well. They having Karim always come through, very so consistent. And it's just about consistency with the team, and I think that's what we need. Again, Valencia, it's a tough game. It's always going to be a tough game, and they did a very good job. They kept a clean sheet, and the defense was doing well. I think it's gonna pick up again. We're gonna get closer to making sure that we get into first place. It's gonna be tough, but I think if we keep the team dynamic how it is now and consistency next week, and obviously we're gonna have Champions League action coming up soon, so we just have to be playing the same way we have been, and I noticed in this game today the game flew very well, and Zidane knows when to make changes, so that's what I like to see. I think the team did great today overall. I saw no flaws at all. I mean, how about you guys? Cesar, what you think?
I love the first half. I think we took care of that first half to put the game away, basically. The first half was one of the best first halves I've seen probably all season, if not maybe on par with some of the ones when we started peaking in the first half of the season. It was amazing. Benzema put in a beautiful, beautiful goal that literally passed inches away from actually bouncing back on the defender before it just missed right through. And the second goal by Toni Kroos, I mean, it's just he put it in there with the white glove. But the one thing that I noticed from the start is that play starts with Toni Kroos passing the ball from his position down to the wing. It makes all the way around, and then he finishes it off. If that is not efficient team play, I don't know what else I could call it.
Yeah, absolutely correct. I have to piggyback off of what Daniel was saying, because Madrid looked very crisp in their passing. They look sharp and alert on counter pressing. They are moving the ball very, very well. It looks like the team is really coming together offensively. And just to note, Valencia is going through a really tough time. I mean, Valencia is really they can be pesky at times, but in this game they just did not show a lot of fights. I mean, there was one moment I remember in the 50th minute where a pass was going to the right side, and you had Vaz and Correa that were running forward, but the ball came their way, and the both of them thought either one had the ball, and the ball went right out of bounds, and there was no pressure from our end. So they were just not in the game at all. It looked like they were just completely out of it, out of sync. When they tried to put something together, we came right back and recovered. I remember Casemiro, he came back and tackled from behind, took the ball away, and started it going the opposite direction when there was a counterattack possibility. I mean, yeah, it really was something. Danny, the biggest moment in the first half, I have to say, is Danny Carvajal going down with an injury. And it was a self-injury in the 25th minute. Lucas Vázquez comes in. What do you think? Do you think that that's going to, hold him out of the next game? Is that something that is just a knock and he'll be back? What do you anticipate?
I hope it's I actually, when that happened, I was kind of like in transition, going to the kitchen, back to the couch to when I was watching the game. It didn't look like it was too serious, but I'm hoping that having Carvajal in the game, for me, it's a complete, it's a very good game changer, because we've seen what he can do in his side of the field. And so when you see Carvajal going down, it's almost scary when you think, oh my God, man, he might be gone for a few months, like it's been in the past, a couple injuries that he's had. And so I'm hoping that it's something small that he can probably sit out for a game and be ready for us for other games that Lucas Vázquez, I think one time we talked about how good he was as a replacement with his game, the game dynamic that he brought into a couple games that he was in as a starter. So I don't mind having Lucas Vázquez also partake in some of the starting roles. But again, I think Carvajal, if he can keep his consistency, a little bit of his health to be better, we're hoping to have him back, but every time you see Carvajal go down, it's a little scary. And it was emotional. It's emotional too, because when I remember when he was in the Champions League final with Liverpool, he went down, he was very disappointed. So I know he's a very good player. He's dedicated to our team, and I know it's upsetting when he goes down and he can't be on the field. So we're hoping that, again, I didn't see exactly the severity of it, but I'm hoping that he can get back, have probably a game rest, take care of himself so he can be back for us for the future.
Okay, so a note to self: don't go to the kitchen during the Real Madrid game, because one of our players might get injured.
I was getting my morning drink.
Shame on you, Danny.
Is that what we're gonna take away from this?
That Danny missed the injury. That's what we're gonna take out of it.
Danny going to the kitchen. Every Real Madrid player stands.
Yes. Oh my God! I was getting my drink, and then I come back, and then I'm like, "What happened?" So that's it. I'm not leaving the seat. I'm pre-gaming and then sitting and not moving. So
I was gonna say, Danny, with the injury bug that's been biting us this year, you must be going to the kitchen a lot.
Oh my God! You know what, guys?
Somebody had to say it. I'm sorry.
Next time we're, you know what? Don't blame it on me. I didn't go to the kitchen.
3-pointer.
Count it.
No,
that was from downtown.
That was from way down. That was from the parking lot. No.
That's a good one. Yeah.
No, I meant that with lots of respect, Danny. You know I'm just messing with you, brother.
No, it was like I said. I didn't get to see it very well, so I heard it obviously when I was trying to make my morning drink. So yeah, hoping it's not that bad. So
hey, I missed the first goal because I was in the kitchen too, grabbing some coffee. It was 7:30 over here, so maybe I got to start stepping to the kitchen more often.
Okay, all right. So note to self: Danny out of the kitchen. Cesar, you got to go
to the kitchen.
Get your drink.
I like that.
There you go. And I need to sleep in because I watched it on DVR, so maybe that's another thing too. We have the formula. We have the formula for them to win.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Right. 10 a.m. games. So that only applies for 10 a.m. games though.
Only for exactly. You're absolutely
10 a.m. East Coast games. Yes. That's true.
All right. Let's keep it moving. Cesar, the substitutions that we made in the second half, where we saw Isco coming in, Mariano Diaz coming in, Sergio Arribas coming in, Vázquez came in the first half. What do you think about that leading up to the Atalanta game that we're going to have in 10 days? Do you see that Zidane is pretty much cutting back and reserving some of the star players?
I think so. I think that has a lot to do with one, starting to give a little more playtime to those that are usually not your starters for the most part, but also you want to keep those legs fresh. I think Zidane knows very well that we need to go in with our mindset fully focused in the Champions League for that first Atalanta game. We cannot afford to come down with a negative result out of Italy. So I think it's part of that rotation we have to go. Also, the fact that we have the infirmary is just full right now, and it's full of big names. That is the sad part, and I think the nick today to Carvajal, it scares me a little bit because I know he was just coming back from a very lengthy injury, and those muscle thigh injuries right there. We've seen players like Eden Hazard, who out of nowhere, he comes up and it's like, oh crap, another 4 weeks he's out. I would hate for this to be the thing that's happening to Carvajal as well. He seemed disappointed when he went out, but not as much, not in a lot of pain. So I hope it's something minor. Going back to the subs in the second half. Mariano, I always like seeing Mariano come on. I got a little scared actually when I saw him warming up in the 10th minute this morning, 10-15 minute. But I like seeing him come on. Arribas, I think in between him and Victor Chus are two of the canteranos that I like seeing in there the most. Marvin surprised me a lot more before his recent injury as well. Isco, I don't know what to say really a whole lot. I feel like Isco was very consistent, always coming on either sometime around halftime and or starting, and then suddenly he's just disappeared, and he's starting to make his way back. I know that he also had a bit of a nick, but Isco's a great player, and I hope that we can bring something in, because the game plan today was very well played, and I think that it will take a big team effort to make sure that we come up with a positive result out of Italy.
Yeah, Daniel, the first minute, I don't know if you saw this, but it was the play that Karim gets into the box. He got stepped from behind, falls down, and he was limping a little bit. And that's where I wanted to mention about, Cesar mentioned about Mariano warming up earlier. That's because Karim didn't look good. He was hobbling around out there. He found a way to get through it. But did you think that should have been reviewed by VAR?
Yeah, I mean, that play, it was interesting because, it was clearly got stepped on, and there was no action. And no action from nothing, and it surprised me because, again, I don't know about, and who was the official in that game? I forgot his name.
Was it Montero, Cesar?
I think so. I forgot, but there's something with this guy when every time that we play, he's the main official. There's some stuff that he misses, So I don't trust that. First, secondly, it should have been reviewed. It should have been called on. But on that, and I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because I think, again, considering the games we have coming up, just taking care of our guy that's pretty much been the most consistent player. He should have been subbed in more, earlier than that. So I don't like to see those type of things, because that's just putting so much pressure on Karim that, we're disregarding his health. It could have been a minor thing. Could have been a step on in the heel. I mean, it's happened to me. Like when I was playing soccer in high school, you want to stay in there. You want to let your coach know, I'm good. I'm doing good. But sometimes you have to think about it. Like, what? This is our most consistent player. We want to make sure he's good. And throughout the game, you guys saw it, right? He wasn't. He was wobbling a little bit. He was feeling that injury. So. I was hoping that he would have got subbed in earlier than what he did. Maybe, give him a rest in the first half, and I give him a rest in the second half. I mean, so, like I said, we have, the subs know what they have to do to make sure that these games continue to flow. And obviously, we have Mariano, Isco. We have great players who can take up on those roles in the second half. So. I was a little disappointed that he wasn't, like I said, given a little bit of a rest, because we rely so much on him. Such a consistent player. And, and also I think not having Sergio Ramos on the field, given that push, to make sure there's some type of leadership. And I know he would have contested that foul. So, I want to see, like I said, Karim being taken care of, regardless of what anybody thoughts are about Karim. I think he's been the most consistent player in the past 2-3 seasons that we for obvious reasons, whoever departed from the team, he's taken over, those type of leadership roles. So, I want to see him getting taken care of, and I'm hoping that next game, well, at least he's rested, or if he starts, let's be cautious about that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, to wrap up this game against Valencia, a little bit of trivia for our audience, and maybe for the both of you. I don't know if you caught this, but the person that has managed the most games at Valencia, do you know who that is?
I don't.
Cesar does, maybe.
Don Alfredo Di Stefano.
Bing, right on the money.
Wow.
Alfredo Di
He
Stefano.
went up and down with them. He won a Liga with them.
Yep.
He sadly couldn't save a team from relegation, but he brought him right back up the next year. And if I read or heard the data correctly, Valencia have not gone down back to Segunda División since Don Alfredo brought him back up in 87, 88, give or take.
87.
Yeah, and to be honest, I knew the data. I didn't know all the extra details of that up until it reminded me this morning throughout the transmission. So that's why it's a little fresh in my mind still.
Yeah, and I have to say it's amazing to hear his name over and over again during games, because they say Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano, because before, if you were a Madridista from way back in the day, you remembered that player or you knew of that player, and the newer generation had no idea what you were talking about. And now with this pandemic, we're playing in that stadium, and that name is being said over and over and over again. And in moments like this, so Cesar, I gotta give you credit. You caught that. I caught that really well as well. And it was, it's really amazing that our history of our legends going to other clubs within Spain and helping them through hard times.
Yes.
And also helping raise glory as well, because in 1980, they won the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah,
that was another thing that they won. They won La Liga. They won the Cup Winners' Cup. They got back to First Division, and Di Stefano was the manager for that team. So yeah, rest in peace, Don Alfredo. Right, just one quick moment about that.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. He's a legend. He, a fellow Argentinian too. Like yourself, and absolutely. I mean, I did know he was the manager for Valencia at one point. I just didn't know it was that history. Right?
He managed half the known world, actually. He managed Boca Juniors, River Plate.
I did know that. Yeah. I think people don't. I think people are don't realize the type of impact he had in the sport.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how it is in Argentina, Chris, how he is, but his legacy in terms of.
He's a hero.
Yeah, he's probably held at the same height as obviously the late Maradona now, and the way Leo Messi will be remembered, for generations to come in Argentina, because they're the emblems of that nation when it comes to football.
I think that Maradona has more love from Argentines, but Di Stefano has more respect from Argentines. Okay. I think that when Argentines or any football fan in general speaks of Di Stefano, there's a level of this elite respect that it's not a matter of, oh, I'm infatuated or it's there, and you must recognize.
He is a Don.
With Maradona, it's more, the emotional rise, but then the baggage, because it's a love-hate. I love him at this, but I hate him at that. You don't have that with Di Stefano. Granted, it's another generation, but that is the difference between those two legends within the same country.
Wow.
Just dropping.
No, thank you for teaching me a little bit about that.
Well, this is executive Madridismo. I mean, you expect nothing less, right?
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on. Valladolid next Saturday. That game. What do you guys think? 3 points, bust? Is that Daniel?
It should be. I mean, like I said again, it's all about consistency with our team. I'm a believer in just being consistent in every small way possible, making sure that we know who we're gonna start. Being prepared.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you rest key starters, because Atalanta is next?
Yes, I would. Absolutely. I mean,
not to add that on the question. So yeah.
No. And again, that's the point I was trying to make, and is the fact that we need to do that. And as a team, I think, and again, I I'm a full believer and trust in our manager to make sure he makes the right decisions. You know, I would like to see Karim rest for a little bit. You know, I would like to see, you know, making sure that we can get those key players. You know, again, some sort of rest, and making sure that we have our good bench players, you know, step in and making sure they can lead the team to a win. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's an easy dub, but I'm just saying, again, we have to be consistent. We have to be prepared for a game that can potentially bring us closer to the first place. Obviously, we're not there yet, but those 3 points are going to be key. Every 3 points that we can get from now until the end of the season are key, because we're aging closer to Atletico. I mean, we're what now? 49 points. They're 54 points. Granted, they have 2 games. I don't know. We have 2 games more than they do, but we need to keep going with those 3 points every single game. Just having a consistent flow. And again, you know, having our bench get involved. You know, we have to make sure we have our players ready. So again, yeah, I want to see some resting. So we're sure we're making a good choice for Champions League.
Cesar, do you think that this would be a good game for Mariano to start?
Absolutely. I want to piggyback on what Danny was saying. I think that it's time to rest a few of those key players, but at the same time, we cannot underestimate Valladolid whatsoever. I'm always a firm believer that those 3-4 bottom teams are sometimes some of the most dangerous, because they're hungry for those points. Because the main reason I always fear them and respect them is a point or 3 points that they steal away from the top 4 or 5 teams could be the difference between them being relegated at the end of the season or not. There is a difference of 8 points between 20th and 12th as of right now, I believe. So that imagine Valladolid coming in and somehow managing to steal 3 points. They are clear of that relegation zone. So I highly believe that we need to respect our opponent when it comes to Valladolid, and make sure that we start players like Mariano, that is hungry for goal. But also, I would like to see a little bit of resting on players that got a little nick. Karim Benzema is one of them. We were just talking about him. Nacho got hit multiple times today. And by the way, kudos to Nacho. I saw him put his body on the line knowing he was going to get hit in that second half. He didn't care. He got up and got literally taken down like the other guy was a tractor.
Yeah.
Nacho has my respect for years and years. He's had it, and I think we should try to give maybe Victor Chust a little bit of time in defense right there with Varane, and let Nacho rest so that he can play in Italy.
You're absolutely right. I do agree with that. I think that the starting lineup, I would like to see Chust in there. I'd like to see Arribas in there, Mariano in there, Isco in there. I'd like to see those players get in the first half. And if it really gets testy where it's tie game, or we're only, it's only 1-0 victory at the moment, or even if we're down a goal, that's where you start to pull in the big guns in the 55 minute mark. Because
that was my point. We cannot wait until the 75th, 80th minute to bring in a player that will take 10-15 minutes to get into the game rhythm. And by then it's, you're already playing with the pressure of being 0-0 or do one under, and you're going into the last minute or two. By then it's almost impossible to pull it off.
However, the thing though is that we cannot go full force against Valladolid, because we have Atalanta on Tuesday. Wednesday. It's the reason why I say that is Atalanta, you have to think of it as a chess game, as we all know this, right? And Atalanta is going to rest their team on the weekends. They're at home. They don't have to travel. They're going to be well rested, and they're going to be ready. And we have to go into that game as rested and as healthy as possible to try to get that win. If not, we get out of there with a tie coming back home in March. That's the game that we have to play. Do we want to win every game? We absolutely want to win every game. We expect to win every game. But we have to measure this realistically. We have a lot of players that are out. Sergio Ramos is not going to be available for that first leg. That's a big blow to the defense. We've seen Champions League games where Sergio Ramos missed it for, if not an injury, it was for a red card situation. And look at how the defense, played. It was really bad, and we can't afford that. Not in Champions League, and not against Atalanta. They're a dangerous team. Daniel, Atalanta, that's the last question I want to ask is Atalanta, that team. You expect Atalanta to come full force in that first leg, or you think they're gonna speculate and hold back and wait for us?
No, I think they're gonna go. They're gonna go full force. They're gonna go full force. I mean, again, we have to respect our opponents, right? We have to respect what they've been able to do in the competition, and they're a great team. That's why they are in the next round. So I think they're gonna come full force. They're gonna know that one of our key players in the defense is gonna be out. So they're gonna make sure they're gonna do their homework, and we have to do our homework too. It's like you said, it's a simple chess game. You have to be ahead of your player. You have to know what moves they're gonna make. So I think the chess analogy is perfect, because that's exactly what it is. And again, we have to be prepared. We have to know what they're gonna do in order to make sure that we are, all full force again. Same procedures as we've had. So again, we have to respect our opponent. They're not going to be an easy team, and they're going to come full force. So I don't expect them to start to hold back. They're going to start shooting. They're going to start putting stuff out there for us to try to manage, and hopefully, again, like I said, we have to rest our players. We have to make sure we do that in order for them to be ready. And it's going to be tough. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have to expect Atlanta to be just in complete full force from the minute they step on the pitch to the last minute. So
yeah, it's almost like a game 7 in a sense, right? Like in American sports terms, where you're at home and that is it. There is no tomorrow. That is your chance. That's how they're going to take it. I think we have the second leg at home to bank on. They don't have that.
Yeah. No, they're gonna go full force. Absolutely. That was a great question.
They have to.
Yeah. So Cesar, what do you think on that? You follow on what Danny's saying?
Hard to follow such a good point right there, but I do agree that I think Atalanta's not going to be a team that's going to put 8 on their half and just close up. They're going to come out. I think their game plan is going to be try to keep Madrid from even putting one away, preventing that away goal. That's going to be one of their biggest things, but they're not going to back up. They need to put a big effort out. They know we have to travel. It's a long trip from Madrid all the way to Italy, and the one thing that can somehow maybe counter that a little bit in our favor is Atalanta's playing Napoli the Sunday before that, and both Napoli and Atalanta are tied with points with Napoli with one game at hand.
Yep.
So right now they're sitting in the border of Europa League standing, so they know they have to battle it out, because if for some reason, putting it in the point of view from Atalanta, if Atalanta just pants out of this Champions League and they lose to Napoli and they lose those European points, they could end up with nothing but domestic league and cup next year. So Atalanta knows they have to put all their chickens in both baskets at the same time. So it's not going to be easy.
That's a phenomenal point. I did not know that. Wow, very, very good. That is exactly why we have you on the show, Cesar.
Thank you.
Okay, this is new information. I did not look into that. No, they have a decision to make now.
Yeah, they cannot go in and start their subs against Napoli, regardless of whether they were sitting pretty up at first or second or third. You do not disrespect Napoli, and you do not take them serious. You cannot.
No, and they're it's not like they're guaranteed a spot next year unless they win the whole thing.
Yeah,
they're not. So, okay. Then that in that regard, it's actually one of the best things that could happen for us, because we're walking in there less than 100%. Everybody knows it. But if Atalanta had a game against a lower tier team, they could risk resting guys, maybe getting 3 points or even 1 point, and having the full 100% squad that Wednesday. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case. They have to battle against Napoli and then play us.
Yeah, and a lot of this has to do with the fact that if we look at clubs historically, now AC Milan is back up in the top 3, and now Roma is right up there too. So the teams that we're in the middle of the table the last few years is perhaps some of the reason why Atalanta, for their own merits and their own victories and their own efforts, of course, but they were able to sneak in and take those spots that AC Milan and other teams were leaving behind. So it's that transitional period. I see Atalanta as one of those transition teams that the way I see Sevilla and Valencia always fighting for the top 3 spots, but sometimes they end up in 6. So they're always just flip-flopping right there. That's what Atalanta is, and it will depend on how the Calcio continues this season.
It is their moment right now. It is their moment. I mean, they were within minutes of getting to the semis last August. If it wasn't for Mbappe basically pulling a rabbit out of his hat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. I mean,
that's a very kind term you used.
Yeah, exactly. So before we go, double prediction. Daniel, I'll start with you. Against Valladolid and then against Atalanta, what do you think scores?
Scores. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm hoping to get like, another a similar result as we did today, a little 2-0 against next week's team. But for the Champions League, oof.
Yeah, I know.
I hit you with a bomb. That's tough. I'm hoping that at least at some point Cesar goes to the kitchen, a couple of times.
More times.
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough game. I'm hoping for the first leg we can get some goals in there. Maybe a 2-1, 2-1 scenario that we can get into. We're gonna be the away team, correct? For the first leg, so we need to score goals. That's the priority. And again, that's a tough question. I'm hoping Cesar can get to the kitchen just a couple times.
I will do my best. You know what? I'll put the game on. I'll just listen to it. I'll pretend I'm listening on the radio, and I'll just be in the kitchen the whole time, just jumping in and out.
Just be in the kitchen, and then we can get some goals in there.
All right, so I got you 2-0, and then what'd you say for Atalanta?
2-1. A 2-1 result.
Winning 2-1. Yeah. Cesar, what do you say?
I think a very, very narrow 2-1 against Valladolid, again, because I'm expecting rotations in Madrid, and I'm expecting a very tough Valladolid that I don't think they're going to be playing very open. They're going to be more back down. So I'm expecting a very narrow 2-1, perhaps late. I think Atalanta, I'm going with a 2-2. I think that we will be able to score away.
4 goals.
But
that's very good. That's very good.
The fact that we're missing Sergio Ramos, I think it's opening up our defense to be... Again, it depends on how Nacho evolves, but Courtois has been a wall recently, and I hope that he continues this momentum. I think Courtois might be, as of right now, he might be perhaps alongside Luka Modric or most informed player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. For against Valladolid, I say 1-0. We win 1-0. It won't be a high-scoring game. I think that we will squeak by and get 3 points. Against Atalanta, I don't think we're going to have a clean sheet. I just don't see it. But I do see us winning 2-1. 2-1.
Yeah.
And bringing that back home in March.
Okay.
Before we go.
Take a couple steps to the kitchen then.
Yeah, there you go. You got to take a few steps. So
I'll make sure I stay in touch with you guys.
Yeah, so before we go, I want to say on behalf of Executive Madridismo, I want to thank the Peña Madridista San Francisco Bay Area for an amazing gift here. It's a beautiful, beautiful mug. Look at that. Isn't that great? Glass.
20 ounces of gloriousness.
20 ounces. Look at that logo. So I want to thank you guys, friends over there, Executive Madridismo. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome.
And then the last note, this is very special for me, obviously. This is the scarf when Boca Juniors played River Plate in the Bernabeu 2018, the Super Clásico, the Copa Libertadores final in the Bernabeu. So this is sold at the stadium. As you can see the dates.
Yes.
December 8th, 2018. So I wanted to
we knew you would do that scarf some justice, Christian. It deserves to be alongside all your collection there.
Honestly, this is unbelievable. I just so everyone knows, for the record, I'm a Boca supporter because of my family, but I was invited to that game and I couldn't go. There was a Madrid official that said, "Listen, I have 2 tickets. You could go up to the box. We'll watch the game." And I couldn't do it because it was in December and I wasn't able to make the dates work and whatnot. But this is a phenomenal memory of the game itself, not the result, the game itself.
Great scarf to have.
Yeah. So anyway, this concludes the episode for El Palco de Honor. Daniel, thank you so much for being on. It was a pleasure to have you on again. Cesar as well, as every time we chat about Madrid. It's really great to have you guys. You guys are phenomenal brothers in this thing that we have with Madridismo. Daniel, you have any words for our audience?
Oh no, I just want to say thank you guys. The conversation is always it's always good for our team. I'm glad that you guys are doing well. I'm glad our guys are safe. I want to obviously give a shout out to all the Madridistas out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. We have to stay consistent, and Hala Madrid, nada más.
Yeah, Cesar.
Same. I would like to say, first of all, thank you, Chris, for hosting me once again. Danny, a pleasure as always. Chris, I wish I could have sent you the contents that go in there, but the post office doesn't want to take them. Maybe next time you come up north and you visit, I'll make sure that I provide you some proper liquid to go in there.
Craft beer.
You know it. It's the only thing. Resuming my
please drink responsibly, by the way.
Always.
Right.
Tagline.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Cesar. My bad.
No. You guys are fine. I just want to say thank you guys. Danny, Chris, you guys are awesome. It's always a pleasure being here. To the Madridismo out there, continue to be safe, continue to support, but more than anything else, right now, as the weather starts getting nicer, and I know that perhaps people are getting a little more closer to getting that vaccine, do not relax, do not take this for granted. Stay safe, stay indoor, wear your mask, make sure you're safe for the sake of your family and those that are around you. Please do not take this lightly.
Yep.
There's been some moments where I know we all probably have been close to breaking, but we will not. We will stand together with this.
Yes, we definitely will overcome, as we always have. Thank you very much for that message. Daniel, thank you so much. Everyone watching, until next time, a la Madrid, nada más.
A la Madrid.